Doesn't matter if you're religious. Doesn't matter if you're married, gay, straight, fucking whatever. They're never going to stop messing with you until they have enough to do something that's going to ruin your life for whatever reason. That's what it is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long it takes. That's just it. So anyway, as you go to sleep tonight, if you're a targeted individual like me, and they harass you in your sleep through the brain-computer interface, and there is a brain-computer interface these fuckers are using. If you want to argue with me that technology doesn't exist, I don't have time for it. If you want to argue that remote neural monitoring doesn't exist, I don't have time for it. If you want to argue that B2K doesn't exist, get the fuck out. Because the shit's here, they're using it on us. So, that being said, I'm done with this. Have a good night.
These demons are involved, keeping me bloody awake. These demons are involved, keeping me bloody awake. When you call this a bloody nighttime sky, I don't think so for me. That's in the horizon. When you call this a bloody nighttime sky, I don't think so for me. They're shouting outside my bloody flat. That's in the horizon. Pitch black. And suddenly you got all this red rust coming up. It's a full effing bloody moon. These demons are out. Suddenly you got all this red rust. Okay. Comets. Let's see if I can. They took the camera up in Scotland because they don't want people to see what's up there. I knew it. It's not even sunrise till 5 o'clock in the morning, and you've got comets in the skies in Scotland. Right hand side. I knew this is Nebrew. Look at the night cam. They're covering it all up. Okay, so be prepared. I knew it. This is gang stalking, the trauma-based mind control. Somebody in my work got an injured bloody leg and foot. My bloody friend, she's up to bloody just stay with me, just overnight. Somebody in my work got an injured bloody leg and foot. The gang stalkers imprison us, right? And they use technology on top. AI, the mind, This is demonic.
Landstalkers imprison us, right? So you use technology.
I just, what's the point? Knee-brew. You know, the time difference in America as well. You know, they want us to be constantly on the edge all the bloody time.
Time difference in America as well. You know, they want us to be constantly on the edge all the bloody time.
Get ready for round 2 lockdowns. Yeah. But you know, they're pushing certain agendas. I can't mention what, but the real reason for this, they know that Nibiru and the comets are affecting this planet, the Earth. Against the grain, I've got to show this channel. He spotted it. They tried to stop him going live. All the mainstream media are using other stuff about certain subjects. I won't go into.
All the mainstream media are using other stuff.
The nano particulars, there's so much more going on. Yeah, they put this down over in where was it, Portugal. They claim, right? Scorching heat waves sparks wildfires in Europe.
They put this down over
Please.
they claim,
Yes, I know it might be that, but also it is more. I'm gonna try and find it. There's so much stuff going on. Alright. Oh. Bloody well. Target my bloody feet. It's always fun watching AI computer systems. It's always AI. Affects the mind, body and soul. AI, brain, Earth too. Affects comets in the sky. May not make sense, but I know what it means. Sadly.
affects the mind, body, and soul. AI, brain, to affects comets in the sky. May not make sense.
Stop this feedback. Can you see how they're hacking this computer? This individual, right, he just keeps bleeding for cash. We've all got our own situations. I won't go into it right now because I've got to try and get some sleep. Here we go, pushing this narrative. More than, certain, what for the past 2 years been going on, while they're pushing this again, all over again. You wait. My mate's had to do an email. Hopefully it goes out tomorrow for me. Because I am absolutely... can't even tell you. They're all pushing it in Australia. Here you go. Don't forget it will come over to UK as well. There's unrest already over in certain countries. They're all saying heat, push, anything, false flag, anything could happen. Look at the Great Depression, what happened there. But anyway, I'm just trying to find them. And I'm going to show you what to go and watch for. I'm going to look for, I should say. I had a notification. The large use of the bloody white vans is NK Ultra Trauma-based mind control when they do that as well. Just don't get distracted, it's easily said and done. Come anywhere near me, I'll bloody well just have to do my best to lawfully protect my rights. I'm not going to do anything. Oh, here we go. All answers are right in front of our noses. He's cracked it. Okay, I'm going to play it. I'll zoom to the part what to look for. Absolutely, it just makes my stomach sick. It really does. But this is a spiritual war, right? The reason why is all over Portugal is broke down the mathematical models. He was blocked for going live for a week. They're blocking him. This is a model. I'll put it on full screen. It's excellent. It's better than the mainstream weather forecast.
And now let me show you what happened with the...
Hold on, I've got to stop this. This is a channel, just go and watch it. I'm not going to say anything about it. I don't want to stop this. This is a channel down the left against the grain. Right? Absolutely amazing. It's a huge vector. They're just spreading fear. I'm just going up because people were... I had something to eat, but oh my goodness me. Poisoners like rats for global depopulation. Yeah. Project Blue, Project Paperclip, Project Blue Beam Style, educateyourself.org. They're massive linking comets, bread, and oh, it's horrible to watch. Most of the FAN cameras on the East Coast US have been disabled because they don't want you to know about what's really up in our skies. It's nothing to do with the heat. I mean, it's the objects. Portugal footage. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that because that's his video. So, it does look scary, look. When's the big one dropping? There's so much disinformation about. Anyway, I'll stop sharing. And I'm just gonna try and chill out and get some rest. It's not good. So, 7, what is he talking about?
Some leftover coffee. I was feeling some type of way. Take my car maybe to where I can't get to the sky. It's upset some people, but I'm upset me. My last Coke of the day. I seen the comments, UK, the webcams are off. Yeah, sun reflects off the dome. It's stupid. You know? I mean, it's just so reflective. So, talking about the magic that exists in us. And I'm making a little short of breath, right? Because we talk about it. Folks, you can break it down scientifically, you can break it down holistically, you can break it down religiously if you want to. There is a power force in all of us. And wow, now some of us are being trained how to use it, how to harness it, how to focus it, how to direct it if necessary. I get the biggest kick out of the negative thoughts that try to pop into my head. I mean, the first one's just the same one every morning when I wake up. Same typical one. And then at 10 o'clock, well, 9 o'clock, there's usually one that follows up. That's the financial one. That's when you know it's just computerized or programmed or scheduled or being broadcast. It's so stupid. It's the blue pill. You know, I got nailed with a couple of really good ones. You know, wow, the comments got stuck way up where did you hear the Vatican call on fire a few days ago? What will that mean? We don't have magic. We not God. Okay, I don't. Okay, is that a super Christian? Because I can assuage you. I can comfort you. I'm just trying to look for something in the spoken language that can confer the meaning of a certain power. Magic was the first thing that came to word, but if that scares you in any way, I can find something else that's a bit more white and silk and fluffy. I can. Just give me a minute. Life force. How about that? See, but I like magic. Okay, wait, how about, no, magic fits. So, um, so just bear with me, friend. And why do I say that? Well, you know, when my mama was, when we were kids, my mama wrote a play called The Rock and Roll Troll, and we all performed it, and I got to sing a couple of songs. And the Night Queen, she put on this beautiful white gown with roller skates on, because that was her magic power, was roller skates and glow in the dark roller skate strings. And that was magic, that was play. Magic can be music, magic can be planting a flower, it certainly is playing with kids. There's crystal in our DNA. Yeah, let's start breaking this down. There's heavy metals in our DNA. I had the Egypt dream as well, and what temples you see are really important. Yeah, it's not sunset anymore, sunrise. I got up at 5:30 this morning, and just looked outside. This silver glow in the sky. They've ionized the upper atmosphere, the ionosphere. They're able to just electrify it, spray a whole bunch of silver nitrates and aluminum oxide and boron strontium, and they've just got the sky etched stitch. They know it, I know it, you know it, people will start to know it. It's just, it's incredible. You know, one of the wonderful things about COVID, which I've started to notice, is that after 2.5 years of COVID, they're starting to sneak it in, all of these symptoms of the new COVID, the new COVID, come on. And a lot of it has to do with shortness of breath, coughing, lightheadedness, memory loss, anxiety. It just goes down the list. Boy, it sounds like a whole bunch of CERN symptoms.
I keep sticking his tongue out.
Shortness of breath, coughing, lightheadedness, memory loss, anxiety. It just goes down the list. Boy, it sounds like a whole bunch of CERN symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Time sickness, temporal displacement, the space-time continuum being fucked with hard, what they're spraying in the skies. Oh yeah, and now 80% of us have got noticeable traces of Roundup in our systems. Yeah. Please, nobody go off on the coke. I've got water here too. Trying. Okay, it's all good. Okay, all right. You know, coughing, wheezing, congestion, memory loss, anxiety, mood swings. All of these things are now being attributed to the ever-present and to be here for always COVID. You got me stuck. You got me fresh woke. Some how strange this is. It's well, I don't even know if woke is even an appropriate term anymore. You know, I'm conscious. Makes me sick. It just makes me sick that the Navy Mobile is, 10 miles away on lockdown. I mean, I'm not even going to look outside. It makes me sick to my stomach. And every single time, my time is going to come. So again, back to Mr. MBB 333. CERN has cranked up, and there's now this hum of frequency coming out of the Earth, and we all feel it. A lot of us do. And we've also got the Schumann resonance, which has been spiking and doing its thing. I have no qualms about honestly talking back that way before I knew about any of this, I began feeling some of the tremendous powers that are at work right now on our planet, in our planet, around our planet, through our planet. It makes a lot of sense to me. We've got a miniature solar system heading our way with ships. From what the birds say, 38 are here, and I don't know 38 what. The Anunnaki's about 150s usually.
They've always been here.
When they voyage to Earth, groups of 50. I mean, massive ships. and planets and moons and beings, and CERN is just a big old tuning fork apparatus. They're tuning us out of phase. It's why so much of what we see in sci-fi these days is showing us.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes complete and 14 and 14. I'll take it. I think about it, especially in the morning when I'm drinking coffee and I'm ready to go landscape all day and I'm hiking.
So no new bird's gonna hit
Earth
Earth and the comets.
The sun's rise and I think about all you, and I'm just like, it makes perfect sense. We are being phased out of it just phased ever so slightly, or else it would kill all of us. And apparently, for that little genius, well, he's not a little guy anymore. It's been 5 or 6, 7 years since that 14-year-old came out. That 14-year-old genius, and he said, definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, CERN destroyed the universe. Now, as soon as I discussed that, 2 sevens clash. Nay, 3. The dark one's just quiet. He's a moody son. Happy carbon hit. No wonder you're here. Amy, she's Shungite. She's part Shungite. The
See
original man was
how my vet monitors.
I've seen him, and I don't know who it was.
He doesn't get hacked.
His eyes are gold.
He doesn't get
robbed. Galaxies in them. Wormwood is real. Well, we keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
Because you keep running with Wormwood, and I just need to write that down. You know, in reference to magic in Egypt, how does that correlate with any of what I'm talking about? Aside from the fact that oftentimes when you're filming the sky, you see the eye of Ra, a huge phoenix. Sometimes you see Nemesis, the huge, and what looks like either wings coming off of both sides, departments of horns, or you see what looks like 2 horns coming off of it, like the bull. You can't fuck with a bull, you can't hit a bull, you can't eat a bull, you can't shit to a bull. They say that they brought livestock from here. It all just ties back. So I was going to start talking about this left bit. When I was for a week, I was this was in 1982 when this here Bureau or Nemesis entered our solar system. Come out with their copper explosive, and then he died a month later of a quick-setting cancer that was unheard of before that time, I believe. He and Marley, the 2 most influential men of that time period, and both of whom were about to unleash Bob Marley being Robert F. Kennedy and the truth on this theory. This was in 1982, and for a week, I would wake up and be lying in bed with flowers and see this huge red ball glowing towards us from out of the solar system. Think about that. Then I would wake up and go to the halls, and then I would finally Wormwood doesn't exist. That's the code for the dragon. And that doesn't cop my head either. And that ties into magic as well. Dragon in Chinese culture. The fact that after the day the Chinese emperor was how do we know they lose and how they but rumor said the emperor and our Philippines could rediscover the four Chinese culture, the dragon, so many features of society like these games. I mean, it looks like the world's game sort of. And I end up looking at this game because I feel like some people are walking. I really hope that my friends are watching my players and some of the people who I know are military, police, fire, EMTs. I mean, you guys know about this.
Dodgy body. I'm gonna keep bloody raging. Damn bloody body. Shoot. Like, effects as well. I'm keeping the body away from other people. And humidity.
Needless to say, whatever that thing is,
Soldiers on you. You're gonna hear that bloody attack. I think it's gonna be more so the control computer cursor as well. There's a cursor, it doesn't know where it is. That's it. Oh, there it is.
There's something out there who just doesn't know where to put you and me on timeline. What timeline? Whatever's going on around us. There's definitely spiritual warfare.
I met Phil over the telephone approximately 3 years ago, and in person about 2 years ago. And during that period of time, I became very well acquainted with him. He was, at that time, still working for the government, and he didn't say much about what he did. But nonetheless, over a period of time, I became well acquainted with him. I found him to be a person of integrity and honesty. And about 1 year ago, he became totally fed up with the New World Order and the establishment. He thought he was working for the betterment of mankind and the work that he was doing as a geologist for our government as well as for NATO. And he found out that it could be and was actually anything but that. So his revelations became, in many respects, my revelations. And I urged him last winter and spring to go public and lecture. Finally got him out. He's given over 30 lectures to date, all very successful, very interesting. In fact, so successful, there have been 13 attempts on his life since the beginning of the year, and he survived them all. All I can say is God must be protecting him because he has a message. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Phil Schneider, and understand also everything is being recorded and the video and audio tapes will be available later. Please give a warm welcome to Phil Schneider.
Thanks, Al. I guess I can always start off by saying loose lips sink ships. That's almost a pun anymore. I'm Phil Schneider. I worked 17 years for the United States government as a geologist and aerospace engineer, as well as a structural engineer. I worked for such elusive occupations with Morrison Knudsen, Bechtel, Page and Page, Aerospatiale of France, and a host of other EG&G and a host of other Los Alamos Laboratory and these kind of things. But rather than bore you with all those statistics, I've got cooked up a real mixed bag here of different topics. It's might be a little bit like brain overload, but I'll start from the beginning. Now, like I said, I worked 17 years. I co-invented methods of shape charge blasting as well as laser rock deflagration, which means rock is literally melted or powdered by a special laser combination, and the residue of the rock underneath is applied as a coating, as a liquid coating, kind of like instant agate, if you could imagine a hunk of agate, which is a hard silica mineral, rock actually. But up here we have another topic. This is an area where I worked. I worked 11 years of the 17 years at Groom Lake, S4, S2. It's in the Nellis Air Force Base area. In fact, Groom Lake is, I'll show you in the picture right here. It's right here. Groom Lake is quite the place. A lot of rumors and other kinds of things have come out of there. Of course, people have stood on the outside for years and wondered at what's been flying there. There's all kinds of things been flying. Let me give you a brief overview. Start in ancient history land here. Back in 1909, the U.S. cavalry was engaged in catching some banditos that had crossed over the Mexican border into a place called Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. And they went into a cave or a hideout and killed the so-called bandits, but what they found out they couldn't explain, and they were called horseshoe craft at that time, or horseshoe ships. There were UFOs, and they saw these, what they called demons, gray demons, little gray guys all around the place. That was in 1909. Now, in 1933, our government was actively engaged with the Europeans, mostly the French and the English, in special researches dealing with aerial phenomena. And once again, the term flying saucer or flying disc didn't come about until much later, supposedly right around the mid-1940s. Anyway, the whole thing here is that also in 1946, I might want to add, we were engaged in atomic bomb testing and this kind of a like. And of course, the area of Bikini Atoll, some of the pictures are over here on the white board. Showing what the actual language of both the U.S. Army and U.S. Navy archives. Anyway, these flying ships were seen as early as 1945, 46. Some of them were called Foo Fighters and name it, that were fully known about, maybe as early as 1935 or 36 by our U.S. Navy. And there was a shallow underwater base at Bikini Island, and that was probably the one reason why a number of atomic bombs were exploded in that area rather than other areas which could have been even more remote out in the South Pacific at Operation Crossroads. Well, anyway, this all led up to later on, about 6-8 years later, 1954, during the Eisenhower administration, led to a interesting treaty called the Greada 1954 Treaty. It was the Alien-Human Treaty. And supposedly the aliens had come in and exchanged technology, and they'd want to take an occasional human being and a few head of cows, and accurate books were supposedly to be kept and all this kind of stuff. And of course, eventually all that broke down, and aliens are notorious for being liars, even greater liars than so-called, in quote, we humans are. So alien treaties are often just not even the piece of the paper they're written on. They're just really kind of worthless. Anyway, my work as a geologist in building underground military bases, some of which are over 2 miles underground. And I think when you listen to Al tonight, if you have a chance to listen to him, he will speak of, Al's actually been on some of the high-speed monorail subway cars, if you might want to call them, that link these bases together. Some of them are capable of riding on a cushion of air about 3/4 of an inch off a rail at a better part of Mach 2. And he's actually been on one of these trains. I've only been in one of the tunnels and helped build some of the tunnels. Incidentally, I helped work on 13 deep underground military bases. Had hands-on experience. Notorious was the one in and around the Dulce, the southeastern and southwestern sides of Dulce, New Mexico, in the Los Alamos laboratory regions, where we built some hermetically sealed rooms that were very deep, going down over a mile. We also built additions onto Groom Lake and S2 and S4 complexes. There are a total of 9 underground. They're called DUMBs. Like, you can learn a lot from this dummy, but DUMB stands for Deep Underground Military Base. And or deep underground, DUM2, for instance, is a submarine base, and I have built a few of those too, which are off our continental shelves and certain islands and out in the Atlantic and the Pacific in strategic locations. All this, I can hardly, in an hour's time, I can hardly squeeze all this in. So I'll be kind of rambling here if you just bear with me. The main topic of my discussion here is to link up basically what's going on with these deep underground military bases, what they're being used for, what is the present situation now being employed both by our federal government, which is slowly being phased out by the United Nations government, as well as the New World, end quote, the New World Order, which is an even higher entity, and who these higher entities are taking their orders from, and try and link up basically what's going on. A lot of us have been kept in the dark. We've been given, maybe most recently over here, photographs of an alien at Roswell. I'll just make a very brief statement about that. The photographs cannot stand up to a computer grain analysis test and therefore are retouched or faked. They're not real. The real one, the real photograph of the charred or dead alien that was one of the several that were autopsy is over here, was given to me by a friend by the name of Skip Frombach of Seattle. And his father worked on
Clearly I don't remember bloody shit.
If you're a senior in the UK, do not buy a funeral plan until you've seen this video.